Have you found yourself worried, concerned, in fear when it comes to retirement, both from the income and lifestyle? It's very normal, and most of us physicians have some sort of fear in that arena because it's the unknown, it's the future. We don't know what's going to happen. We maybe don't know what kind of lifestyle we want to live. We don't know how much income we're going to need, and we don't know what our health situation is like, much less how long we can work into old age. So this video is going to dive into that. I'm going to approach all three of these topics and hopefully give you a good way to decide for yourself how to structure your retirement plan. So my name is Dr. Mo, digital nomad physician at digitalnomadphysician.com. I'm a family medicine doctor practicing in the US. I have my own virtual medical practice that allows me a lot of freedoms. It allows me to practice outside of the insurance-based system. It allows me to do health coaching. I can have the number of patients that I want. I can charge what I think is fair for me and my patients. The other thing that I do is this channel, which is all about physicians developing the kind of career that they love. It's about location independence. It's about retirement. It's about healthcare consulting. It's about building your own medical practice. So that's what I do. I coach physicians in essence. And what I've learned along the way is that the biggest fears are always things in the future, the unknowns. And it's absolutely true that we can't control the future, but there are maybe a few ways that we can start thinking about it to give us some peace of mind. And I'm going to talk about these three things, which is the kind of work that we can do in retirement, the kind of income needs that we might have, and maybe the lifestyle and health that we can expect. But in this process, I also want to talk about maybe two doctors who very specifically have expressed to me how much stress and anxiety they have over retirement. And these are physicians who I'm coaching right now. So let's dive right in. The main concern is, how much money do I need for retirement? When am I going to retire? Probably the most important thing is to zoom out of this and start thinking about what does work mean to you right now and what could work mean to you? Could you find the kind of work in healthcare that provides you income well into your old age? Is there something in healthcare that could entice you, that you might enjoy, that you'd want to do? I mean, some of you are totally completely checked out. I get it. You're like, fuck it. I don't want to even deal with healthcare anymore. I want to be completely out. And if that's the case, could you run a restaurant, cafe, some sort of a coaching thing? Could you teach ballroom dance and have some income, teach tennis? Have an exercise gym that you could, you could do some coaching and teaching there, or you could just make some money from the membership income. I think there's a lot of ways that we as physicians can make money well into our old age, even if it's just 2,000 or 3,000. I'll tell you in a minute why that's so powerful and so important. But if it is something in healthcare, if you could see yourself working, maybe not as a hospitalist, right? Maybe not as a trauma surgeon, maybe not even as an orthopedic surgeon. By that time, you'll just not have the stamina to stand up in an OR and kind of the busy schedule, but you might be comfortable seeing some patients in the clinic. You might be comfortable doing some online coaching, some clinical consultations. You might be comfortable running your own virtual medical practice and seeing some patients that way. For me, when I worked at Kaiser Permanente, I was very busy working in the urgent care. Now my practice is very different. It's very slow paced. It's very comfortable. I can take my time. I have some direct primary care patients where we're just kind of working on their chronic diseases. And I have some of my health coaching patients where it's a lot more guidance and education, accountability. And that's kind of fun. As you get older, I think you have more time and energy to reflect. I'm now in my mid 40s. So thinking about an income source in the future is powerful. But let's not, so that's work, right? That's kind of like thinking about how work could impact the income needs. But work can also create other sources of joy, let's say. Number one, if you're working in your retirement, chances are maybe you don't want to escape so much by going and traveling or being away from your house. You actually have a purpose. You're kind of connected in the community. So work can also keep you young, keep you active, and keep you healthy. So don't forget that aspect. So what about this income need, the wealth need? So how much money do you need in a savings account, in a retirement account? I think that's the wrong way to think about it. You could have $1 million in a retirement account and live very well in the US. At the same time, you could probably have 10 million, 15, 20 million dollars in your retirement account and live a very miserable life. On one hand, you could go through that money really quickly, which is quite unlikely. On the other hand, you're so afraid of losing this money or touching this money that you'll probably die with millions of dollars in your account, which I think is probably what's happening with most physicians. Sure, they might pass that money down to their kids, but why are you passing money down to your 65-year-old, 60-year-old kids when you die? That makes very little sense. None of your kids are going to need, at their age, the amount of money you're going to leave them. The only value your money could have for your heirs is if you give that money to them when they're young, 18, 20, 30, when they can do something with that money that could be really life-changing. And I'm not telling you how to be a parent or what to do with your financial assets, but remember, the wealth itself, the number itself, is of little value. Another way that I think about wealth is how much income will it generate for me? So on that maybe triangle at the very top, chances are you're going to rely on Social Security. So if you're convinced that Social Security will not be around when you reach your retirement age, then take that out. So another way to create a Social Security for yourself or some sort of a fixed income would be through something like a fixed annuity. So you give up a certain amount of cash, $300,000, $500,000, and you get $1,000 or so a month coming in. Now, it may not seem like much, but having a steady income every single month is a good feeling. And I think that's that's the whole purpose of Social Security. Now, I may not have to take my Social Security. I might start taking my Social Security at, let's say, 65 or 72. But it doesn't mean that I have to take that money and spend it. I can put it in a savings account. I can even invest that money. So start thinking about income that's coming in, not just as something that you need to spend right away, but it could still be a savings tool for you in the future if you need it. Especially if you're planning on like a leaner retirement, meaning you're not going in with a $10 million cushion. You're going in based on what your needs are. That's the way I plan my stuff. Even though at some point I accumulated well over $1 million for my retirement, I realized very quickly, like about now, 5 years ago at least, that I will never touch that money. I'm never going to need that amount of money for just retirement. Chances are I'm going to keep working. And if I'm not able to work, chances are I'm probably dying. I'm so ill and sick that I'm not able to do much with that money. So I wouldn't have any use of that money. That money is not going to keep me alive. That's just not the way healthcare works either, unfortunately. So going back towards the income, I see Social Security as one source of income. I see other investment assets, such as rental income, as another potential source. And I see income from my investments, my securities investments, as another source. Now, you can just put money aside in a CD and then you just take money off the top, or you can have like some sort of a stock portfolio, a dividend portfolio, an index fund portfolio, and you're getting some income from that. Let's say, I don't know, 3 to 6%, depending on how much you want to take out from that portfolio every year. So there's income coming in there. Now, most of us are not going to go into retirement with $0 in a savings account. We're going to have a emergency fund, and we're going to have some securities income. So even if you save, let's say, $500,000 in a securities account, that would be, I don't know, somewhere around $15,000 to, let's say, $25,000 of income every single year from that. And try to picture yourself really in retirement. Don't picture yourself at the age of 65. At the age of 65, chances are most of you listening to this are going to be vibrant, active, doing a lot of stuff, and probably still working. Even though right now you may not be able to see yourself working, chances are you're going to find something around that time that you love, right? That you like doing, that you feel engaged in, where you feel like you can provide other people value and you get something in return for that. That's the way I always think about it. I think work is a way for me to feel engaged in my community, offer value to other people, and for me to grow because of it. So if I have income coming in from this side income, and I'm 65 years old, okay, well, I can use that to start traveling, to do some of the fun stuff. Maybe I always wanted a boat, or maybe I want to upsize or downsize my house, or I want to get a second house. You can start doing all of that. And then later, when you're 75, 85, 90, hopefully you are keeping yourself healthy enough Healthy aging is like, it's pretty much the most powerful thing that we can do this in this age, because we have really good medications, we have great public health infrastructure, but if we're not putting the effort into keeping ourselves healthy, then your lifestyle as an older retired person is going to be affected, and we'll get to that. That's kind of number 3 for me. So I have the work, I have some income, and I have some wealth. So maybe I got some income from securities, some income from real estate, and I got some income from actually working. How much money do I really need? And I think that's sort of the question that has to be answered by looking at the lifestyle that you desire. Right now, if you're working full time, you're thinking, I'm just going to travel full time. Well, guess what? Traveling full time is very fucking cheap. Traveling as a tourist for like 2 weeks is very, very expensive, because you're going to have to book that ticket exactly when you have some time off, and you're going to want to get all those tourist attractions in, and so you're going to spend a lot of money. But if you're traveling like I do, me and my wife, we travel pretty much full time, I would say, and we live like the locals. So recently we spent a little over 2 months in Italy, and then we spent nearly 3 months in Iran, and before that we were in Mexico, and we were in Spain for 2 years. These travels have all been sort of like living like locals. In fact, we sometimes stayed with friends and people for free, and the rest of the time we're cooking our food, we're doing, I'm doing my work, I'm running my practice online, my wife does what she's passionate about. So my lifestyle matters, and the kind of lifestyle choices that I have and I want to do are going to affect my income. But don't think that you're going to all of a sudden blow up your spending. Like, oh, I'm going to need $200,000 a year of income to be able to live the life that I want. Look, if you're the kind of person who wants a couple of Bentleys and a couple $1 million homes in Beverly Hills, you're probably not watching this channel. Most of you are watching this. You're kind of like me. You love living life. You're discovering what it means to live this life, and you're sort of torn between what to do in healthcare that doesn't burn you out, but it also provides value to patients. And so you're kind of in this discovery phase, I would say. You maybe have kids. You probably have kids. Most people have kids. I don't have kids. I won't have kids. And so you're kind of thinking about that lineage. What are you going to do? What value you're going to offer them? How are you going to set them up for success? So for me, the lifestyle that I'm going to live is going to be, how much happiness can I find now? So I have now mid 40s until I hit 65, 70, 80 to find this peace and tranquility in my life where I'm kind of content living this life. If I'm content living this life, I'm probably not going to want to spend a lot of money. I think it's fair to say that societies where the quality of life is very low, spending is very high. And in societies where people generally really enjoy being around each other and socializing, they don't need to spend a lot of money to be happy. And so I found that to be true with a lot of other doctors who I've coached who are well into their retirement and still starting businesses or running businesses, but well into retirement. And so I think in this lifestyle factor, health is an important aspect. How much money do you need for your healthcare? Look, you're going to have Medicare. Well, if you don't believe Medicare is there, you're going to need some money, of course, to pay for healthcare expenses. But maybe you can get more creative by that time. You can do some medical tourism, maybe, I don't know, you can figure something out. But I just don't think we're going to need as much money as we're told we need. Most of us, if we have stage 3, stage 4 cancer, how many of us doctors are going to go through every single option to give us an extra 1 or 2 months, maybe a year? Especially once we're past the age of 65. I don't know that answer, but a lot of doctors I've talked to are not very active, like, let's do it, I want to do whatever possible to extend my life, I'm going to go to the ICU, intubate me and put a chest tube in me. I think doctors are kind of on the other side of the spectrum. So with all this said, here's what I imagine, here's what I fathom. I keep working as I turn in my 60s and 70s and 80s. I probably, assuming health goes the way it should, or the way I anticipated based on my risk factors, I can probably still be sort of functional and provide some value into my late 70s. And so at that time, I've probably collected 10 to 15, maybe 20 years, no, not that much, but 10 to 15 years of Social Security income that I've put aside. I haven't even touched. I do have a social securities portfolio. I have income coming in from my index funds. My index funds are still growing, but I'll be honest, I'm not adding any money to them because, again, I just don't think I'll touch them. So let's say I got under $1 million of securities income. Even if I had $300,000, by the way, that would be an incredible amount, because if I'm in my mid 40s and I have that $300,000, that's going to grow to probably about $1 million by the time I'm actually ready to dip into that. And then I have real estate. Now, I have real estate not because I wanted to buy real estate for it to be an investment income, but real estate tends to generate income. That's just the way real estate is. So these were properties that I bought for myself to live in. I have 3 of them. And so these are going to have some income coming in when I'm retired. If I keep them. If I don't keep them, then they have cash value that I can invest, and that's going to be income. So I see the bucket of Social Security, I see the bucket from my investments, and I see the bucket from income coming in from actually working. With all that there, how much money do you really think you need to live a good life? Look, I get it. The answer is going to be different for each and every one of us, but I can tell you right now, living here in Long Beach, for me, at mid 40s, if I didn't travel anymore, I think I'd be fine, guys. I mean, traveling there's some joy in that, meeting new people, but I've discovered certain other things in my community that I really love. If I go rent a small office and just see some patients a few days out of the week, and go to my rock climbing gym, go stand up paddling, go surfing, go cycling, go socialize and meet with people, I'll have everything that I want in this life. And, if I have a tiny bit of mortgage on this condo for particular reasons, but if I paid this off, my monthly expenses would be nothing. It would be, maybe $2,000, $3,000 a month, and that would be like living really well, right? $2,000, $3,000 a month, I can live a wonderful, solid life. And whether I just keep running my virtual medical practice indefinitely, or I open a physical practice, or I start a whole new different business, or I just live off of my investments, I could retire. I mean, obviously I could retire now. I retired in 2016, and I kind of decided that I really like work. I don't know. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's much more in reach than you think. You need a lot less money than you think. And thinking about it from a wealth perspective of how much money do I need in the bank probably won't get you to that place where you'll feel like, I'm finally comfortable retiring and seeing myself in a good place in my 80s or 90s. So that's enough of that. Guys, I would love to hear some comments below. I never asked for you to subscribe to the channel. I think that's ridiculous. That's not what I do here. But I do really want to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think about when it comes to retirement as a physician. Tell me what your fears are. Tell me how you've tried to solve for it. That's it, guys. Take care.